All right, welcome everybody to another Metabolic Monday with your boy, the Metabolic Mentor, Vince Pitstick, functional nutritionist. I've been in the field of medical health, fitness health, aesthetics for over 18 years, bringing to you research and technical information across the functional health, fitness, and medical health landscape, bringing you together an amazing hour of information I promise you won't get anywhere else on the internet. And we live stream it here on Instagram. Who said long form content on Instagram couldn't work? Metabolic Mondays have been an incredible response from you all. It's been a great time. I'm glad to do these with you every single Monday. We take your questions live from our questions tab on my stories. And if I pick your question from my stories, you will get free New Ethics Formulations products. New Ethics Formulations, the best supplement company on planet Earth. Why do I know? Because I design the products, I look at the COAs, and I change the lives of those products every single day. So if you're looking to get great nutrition information, great functional health information, this is the hour for you. Make sure that you stay loud and proud in the chat. We got people loading on up. Drop in the chat where you're watching from. Let me know where the hell in the world are you from? Where are you watching from? And drop in the chat, how crazy was your Monday? Was it a 1 out of 10? Was it a 10 out of 10 for crazy, stressful? Or was it nice and chill, 1 out of 10? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. We do on Metabolic Mondays like to reward people in the comments. We killed it last week. We had a record number of comments, record number of shares. You guys have been watching this thing post-production in droves. I cannot thank all of my day ones that have been doing this with me. This thing has started to grow out of control, and I'm just very grateful to all of you. All right, we got people dropping in chat. All right. Charisse, we'll put, she's going to kill me because I said that name. What's going on? What's up, Karen? Sammy, what's going on? 1 out of 10. Just need some GDA Max to translocate some junk I just ate. My man. That's right. GDA Max Pro. Killing it with the GDAs right now. We love it. The results in the new GDA Pro has been incredible. All right, who else we got? Producer Malachi, let's go up real quick. Say hi to everybody. Be balanced. What's going on? Keep going. Sydney, what's up? Is that Samara? I don't know how to say that. I'm terrible with names. Keep going up. Who we got? What's up, Miami? Ohio. Victoria, what's going on? Emily, what's going on? Hello, everybody. Well, again, I hope you are sitting down with some popcorn locked in. I won't ever know if you are messing with me or if you actually forgot. All right, everybody. What's going on, Melissa? Hello, everybody. Okay, drop in the chat where you are watching from. How crazy was your Monday? 10 out of 10, terrible Monday. Can't wait till it's over. Or 1 out of 10, amazing Monday. Drop it in the chat. Hopefully we make this next 45 minutes to an hour as we coast to the end of your Monday super insightful, informative, and hopefully life-changing, because that's what we like to do here at Metabolic Monday, is blow your mind with information you just can't get anywhere else. Emily just started GDA Pro yesterday. If you are looking to not gain fat from the food that you eat, or if you're looking to use the nutrients from your food and partition them better in your body faster, increase glucose absorption, at least by 20 to 50%. Try GDA Pro. We just dropped it. One of the first brainchild products from me and Dr. Carrie Jones. Houston, Victoria, what's up? 3 out of 10. Not too bad for a Monday. All right. 7 out of 10. How could it ever be that bad in California? All right, Sammy, what's up? New York, 4 out of 10. I know I was just in Cincinnati. It wasn't even close to New York, but close enough. I got to tell you, it was a crappy mess over there, and now I had to run back to Florida, get back to St. Pete weather. Alina, Kentucky, 2 out of 10. What's going on? All right, we got people loading in. Like I said, I like to reward activity in the chat, so don't be surprised if I don't give away free replays from the Hybrid Health Summit and products. Brianna, what's going on? ATL in the house. I was just in Atlanta. The weather was not great, but I still love the city. It's growing faster every day. Atlanta reminds me of like a 4-year-old. Every time I go see him, he's 10 times bigger. It's like, how did you grow that fast? Atlanta in the house. Hello, hello. All right, like I said, Metabolic Mondays are designed to blow your mind, change the way that you look at nutrition, medical health, functional health, all in 1 hour. What's going on, Chicago? 10 out of 10. So let's get into it. First off, just quick disclaimer so none of you sue me. This is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. I am a functional expert, but do not treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please see a functional practitioner before utilizing any information provided here, quote unquote. All right, let's get past that. All right, so real quick, if you share this live and tag me, you will be entered to win a free Hybrid Health Summit replay. We had over, if you were to rent the time of the people that we had at the Hybrid Health Summit, it would have cost you a total of $500,000 for just one day, and we have them all in one replay. Producer Malachi, that's dropping tomorrow, isn't it? I believe it's tomorrow. I believe it's dropping tomorrow. It's $200. We're giving them away free here. And in fact, I'm giving one away to one lucky winner today. And that is Coach Castor, Abigail. Congratulations. She's been a day oneer. She's been on here for a while. Abigail, please reach out to Waleed, my assistant. By the way, we have amazing people in the chat. We have people from Metabolic Mentor University in the chat with Cam and them. And then we also have my apprentices, Waleed, here to answer your questions live. So congratulations, Abigail. You are the winner of the $200 Hybrid Health Summit replay with all the amazing presenters, entrepreneurs, and business experts, all in one amazing presentation done over 3 days, but we compact it into a few hours of amazing presentations for you. I am giving more of these away. So after this, make sure we had an unprecedented number of shares and tags this time, which was awesome. Tag me and you'll be in the entry to win. All right. Also, join me at the 1-100. Join our Facebook group. Join our crew. Come join my tribe. 1-100, that's Watson right there. Watson's hungry. Watson, I'll feed you in a minute, buddy. I keep putting these on YouTube as well. They get tons of views with consistency. Thank you. We just started doing that. That was my idea, by the way. So, hey, maybe I got good ideas here. Marketing team, right? Producer Malachi. Maybe I got a good idea from time to time. All right. But by the way, all right, we're doing something extra special. I got to let you guys know, if you guys love free trainings, Dr. Carrie Jones, dietitian Caroline O'Connor, myself, and the team at MMU are doing a free event, free health coaching event, Functional Health Coaching 101. If you're a coach, comment on the YouTube. I saw that. I appreciate you. If you check my stuff out on YouTube, please help me out. Drop a comment and follow and subscribe if you would. Or you can only subscribe on YouTube. You can't follow. So that kind of defeats the purpose. But February 27th, 28th, right? 2 days, 2 hours, one outcome, a better vision for healthier and brighter future where functional health coaches and practitioners play a vital role. We are going to teach you advanced skills. We're going to teach you about opportunities. We are going to teach you education that we would never give free any other time. 27th, 28th. If you want to learn about functional nutrition for yourself, or maybe become a coach, or maybe you want to add tools, DM or text or actually comment interested, and my team, Waleed, will send you a private DM with the link. 2 days for free. Private training from Dr. Carrie Jones, myself, and Caroline O'Connor. 4 hours, free training. Why would you not come to it? Come check us out. Text interested in the comments if you would, please, and we will get that over to you. We only have so many seats, so make sure you drop that in the chat below, okay? Awesome. All right. Waleed, you're going to be a little bit busy there, buddy. So come spend who doesn't want to hang out with me 2 days in a row, right? I'm fun. I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm in, right? I promise you we're going to drop you guys so much cool stuff that your minds are going to change about the health industry. And if you are thinking about even potentially part-time job and making money from the internet at home, also that is something that you might be interested in. We help get people out of the shitty ass jobs that they hate and into jobs helping people, changing lives, doing something with purpose. All right, let's move on. So we got some really cool questions. I'm going to drop some knowledge bombs today. All right, first off, this is not how you spell collagen. Even my uneducated, misspelling ass knows better than that. But Jill, she's a day oneer. She's been messaging a lot. Collagen peptides versus bone broth. What the hell is the difference? People really love to talk about bone broth. They love to talk about collagen peptides. They love talking about all these things. Most people don't know what they're talking about. So I thought this was a great question. Jill, congratulations. We're going to give you some new ethics products at the end because we selected your question. If you want me to give you products, if you want free gift bags, if you want cool stuff, I'm actually drinking bone broth right now. What's up, Victoria? Hope you're doing well out there in Orlando. But all right, people don't know what they're talking about. So I thought we would take a few 5-10 minutes, and I want you to know the truth and how this really works. So if you're not careful about collagen, if you're not careful, you're going to get taken advantage of, okay? So there's a lot of good things, and then there's things that aren't really true that you need to be aware of. It's the same thing with powdered protein. It's the same thing with BCAAs. It's the same thing with like berberine. What happens is there's a chunk of information that's really important and good and well established. And then people like to build off of that a lot of hype. And then they start making products that start making money. And then they just start saying whatever the hell they want. Good morning, Melissa. Hello. Whoops, swapped my coffee for bone broth. Very good choice. I'm going to tell you why that's a great choice here in a minute. So bone broth was established as a medicinal product, right? Now, they didn't know why. Let's talk about ancient medicinal remedies where a lot of good medicine comes from. Many, let's say doctors or healers have long known, it's been anciently used, is that the bones of animals have been used to help in medicinal properties for healing. That is something that has been around a very, very long time. Well, it wasn't until about 50 years ago that they started looking at what is in like bones that actually make them medicinal. Let me give you an example. Ayurvedic medicine, which has been around for centuries, their belief is that if you have a problem with something, eat the thing that you have a problem with. Let me give you an example. If I'm having a heart problem, eat heart, right? If I'm having a liver problem, eat liver. Well, one of the things they were noticed is that bones left in products, that bone helped aging individuals with their bones, right? They were having pain or getting older and more of a danger to themselves. And, one of the worst things that can happen to people when they get older is a fall, because a fall can break a hip. And if you break a hip, you increase the risk of early mortality by like 50%, right? So they started establishing medicinal benefits of bone, but then they weren't sure why. So a lot of research has been done actually on bone broth in and of itself. Now, bone broth, a lot of times you'll get confused. People will tell you, oh, they're taking proteins from, I don't know, chicken or fish or, cow or whatever. I think it's very important to establish that bone, you're really talking about cooking the marrow and some of the chemical properties of bone and getting the ingredients out of it. So here's like a good study, for example. This is the analysis of anti-inflammatory effect of bone broth on ulcerative colitis. The results were really, really good. And so bone broth has been researched for pain. It's been researched for autoimmune conditions, shown very positive health-wise for gut issues. Now, while that may be true, okay, it doesn't mean that bone broth is going to be the treatment by itself for anything. I don't want people to think that if I just drink bone broth, all my problems are going to go away, because that's just not true. Okay, so further analysis is that bones, if you cook them, so if you're going to make your own bone broth, for example, if you're going to make your own bone broth, you need to soak bones for at least 8 hours. You cook them, and then you've got to soak them in the broth for at least 8 hours, because it takes a while for the amino acids, the minerals, and the collagen to actually be leached from the bone, okay? That takes time, right? And the amount that you actually get from bone broth is more amino acids, right? And a little less collagen protein. You'll get some collagen protein, and then inside the protein, as it breaks down in your GI tract, you'll get some of the peptides. I think it's very important to understand a few things about collagen protein, though. Okay, and I like this, right? Oh, we missed a slide, I think. Yeah, we did. Oh well, no worries. I'll just walk you through it. So one of the things you should know about collagen peptides is that, hey Pamela, what's going on? Collagen peptides absorb better than protein. So in your gut, for example, most collagen protein does not absorb in its whole form. One of the slides that I had after this was information from Harvard, a Harvard education looking at collagen protein absorption. and the findings are relatively poor. You don't really absorb whole collagen protein. That's not real. So when people want to tell you that collagen protein is great for you, yes, it's nice, okay? Because you're still getting the amino acids from it. You're probably getting other nutrients from it, but you're not absorbing the whole protein, okay? That's not what's happening, okay? You're breaking down the protein, and it's not that well absorbed. You're breaking down the protein into certain peptides. Some of those peptides and the amino acids are absorbing into your body and are good for your immune system. They're good for your hair. They're good for your skin and all of those kind of things. However, I will tell you this, right? I'll tell you this. The problem with collagen protein is that most of collagen is extracted from skin, hooves, other parts of animal products, and they have to heat it. So there's multiple. How do I get collagen protein or collagen peptides extracted from maybe skin or hoof or something from an animal? I either have to heat it really, really heavily. I have to steamroll it, so they'll literally roll it, like maybe you see a steamroller on on a highway that rolls out and to level out gravel, right? Most of these manufacturing methods are quick and inexpensive, but they denature the collagen that's in them. And denatured collagen does not work well inside you're not going to get the medicinal benefits that you want. That's why there's a lot of conflicting research on collagen protein, the whole protein, actually doing things for your skin, your hair, your nails, okay? Liquid marine collagen is very similar, Karen. There's not a lot of data that tells you, is it probably good for you? Karen, yes, in general. But that doesn't mean you're going to get a really strong medicinal outcome from it, okay? They're generally healthy, yes. But it's very hard to trust the source of the collagen that you're getting. It's very true, the same of protein. A lot of junk protein that you buy at Walgreens, you're not getting all the amino acids that are supposed to be in the protein that help you build muscle or create collagen synthesis because it's denatured protein. So you'll take a bunch of shit protein and then you'll sprinkle it with amino acids to try to help. So if you're buying protein from Walmart at $20 a tub, you're probably not getting much out of that. But it might not be bad for you. It's just not that great for you. So, for example, that's why if you're going to do something that is generally healthy for you, bone broth is a great option as a light medicinal tool. But unfortunately, you do not get a large volume of collagen peptides that actually break down in the body and do very medicinal things like grow hair, grow bone, help ligaments, tighten skin, right? Tighten skin. Those are all the things that you think that you want when you buy collagen protein. But that doesn't mean that that's the outcome that you're going to get, which is how they take bone research, right? And they take collagen research and they show you it and then say, hey, buy my bone broth, or hey, buy my collagen protein. But that doesn't mean that that product actually is medicinally quality enough or at the potency enough to create the outcomes in the research. I just want you guys to understand this is why whenever something blows up, they take advantage of you. What up, Nick? Everybody shout out Nick, man. Awesome. I'm glad you got on here, bud. Can't wait to get started with you soon here, partner. But it's important to understand that. I don't want you taken advantage of. If you want to do something nice and medicinal for yourself, I do like bone broth. But let me tell you where the cool research comes. These are what research has done is they have broken down. I want everyone to understand something. I have a protein. A protein is filled with multiple peptides. And then the peptides break down into individual amino acids. So you got amino acids, individual amino acids that come together to make a structure. That structure is called a peptide. Then multiple peptides come together to make a protein. right? So digestion, depending on how good your digestion is, if you were to eat a collagen protein, okay, hopefully that's not denatured, it would break down into certain peptides. Hopefully you absorb those peptides and then they do medicinal things inside of your body. What I prefer to do is I prefer to get away from the protein and move to the peptide, because the peptides are very, very well researched. So you can isolate certain peptides, because there's a lot of peptides that come from collagen. All right? There's like 12 of them, 17 of them. Okay, well, which ones are really medicinal? And then how much of it do I need to take to get an outcome that I desire? I hope everyone's following along. Put hell yes in the chat if you understand where I'm at and are following my line of thinking, so that you don't get taken advantage of when you're in the world of collagen, bone broth, and peptides, okay? So it's much harder, and there's a lot weaker research on collagen protein. But when you break down a protein into its peptides, now I can take that peptide, I can put it into high volume, and I can test that in a human being. I followed you for 9 million years now. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you. Okay. So if I want something from peptides, like what do you guys want from peptides? Like I want skin tightening, because I see that it's good for that. I want my bones to grow better or to hold up better. I want my ligaments to maintain. Those are the things that I want from peptides. So like taking GHK-Cu, would it be better for skin than collagen peptides? Yeah, I think yes. I like GHK. And you're talking more copper there. We love that peptide. That's a peptide, right? Is it better for skin than collagen peptides? Well, you mean collagen protein, right? Hydrolyzed peptides, exactly. We're gonna get into that, right? So skin technique. I read less than 5 grams, not effective. Kitty cat, very good. That's right. So great. You know what, Kitty cat, I love that comment. We're gonna go ahead and give you one of my this is my New Youth product that has all the peptides already in there for you. We're going to go ahead and send you one New Youth for free, little lady. Waleed, hook her up. She got perfect aminos. Any good? Okay. Any neurology benefits? We'll get to that question. Yes, there is in just a second. So perfect aminos, Melissa. I do like them because you're dealing with essential and BCAAs, so branched chains and essential amino acids. But what we found is that the research on amino acids was oversold and somewhat of a lie. If you take amino acids too much during the day, you can increase your glucose in your blood and increase your insulin response. And we don't want to do that. So, or the worst case scenario, they're just not going to do anything for you. Now, perfect aminos, I don't know what fillers they use or flavorings they use. I used to use them as a product, but I don't like their manufacturing standards. I don't think that Perfect Amino's manufacturing standards is high enough for me. So I don't use them anymore. But what we found is that amino acids, unless you're in a caloric deficit or you're intra-workout, branched chain amino acids anyways, really don't have that much benefit. And some do, protein synthesis in certain segments, but there really wasn't as much. Does putting New Youth in hot beverages kill the peptide benefits? The hotter that you make it, Karen, the more you denature it. That's all I can tell you. I'm not sure. This has not been tested in heat, okay? But I want to keep going. By the way, if you just dropped in, a lot of people are dropping in. I'm functional nutritionist Vince Pitstick, breaking down functional nutrition and dietary science, unlike anywhere else you're going to get. Please drop in the chat. I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and how crazy was your Monday? Easy 1 out of 10 or really stressful 10 out of 10? Drop it in the chat. FYI, I officially joined MMU today. Hey! Sharon is awesome. We're glad to have you part of the 1 of 100 MMU family. Awesome. Okay. What I'm explaining, if you're just getting on right now, is I want to break down collagen and the insanity that's going on out there, and you need to be informed, right? So if I read something that says bone broth builds my tendon health and my joint health, well, bone broth by itself, based on the data, right? Alaska, Monday was chill. What's up? Bone broth, if you drank it as a lifestyle, right? I created a new concept of drop shipping. Well, let us know. That's awesome. But if you were to drink bone broth for maybe 3 months, you would at higher amounts, you would probably see things more medicinal. As a general anti-inflammatory for autoimmune, or like if you're severely inflamed, short-term use of bone broth will give you a benefit. But if you're looking for the medicinal benefits in bone broth, you can drink it as a lifestyle because it's a good thing to put on stuff, but it would take like 6 months to accrue enough of the, collagen to break down into peptides that you actually absorb. What is the difference between tendo forte and forte-bone? Really good question. I'll get into that for you. That's a great question. So coming back to this, let's get back up here. How do we create more collagen? Well, you eat more of the nutrients that create collagen and you remove inflammation in your body. That's good. There's a product out called Collagenics. You need a lot of things to help. Again, there's a lot of amino acids that go into collagen, and you've got to have all the amino acids so that when your body goes and makes collagen, it has everything it needs to make it. Otherwise, it makes less effective collagen, right? And one of the things that gets in the way of that is too much inflammation, because your body will keep eating the collagen that you're just making. That's why I really like, if you're healing something. So amino acids don't necessarily, I don't know which ones. Essential amino acids help with collagen some, it's possible, but branched chains not as much, right? Valeline's involved, but that's what I'm saying. So amino acids and collagen there's not a one for one there, just so you know. Is it okay to have collagen more than once a day? It absolutely is. And again, if you're talking about collagen protein, multiple times a day, and peptides multiple times a day, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. They did actually research on that, by the way, balanced by Monica, and it's safe to take more. Super amino 23 from Permium, they are from a doctor. Well, no, they're from a doctor. It must mean that they're good, I guess. So yeah, I scoop collagen protein in my coffee too. Now that's great. I will tell you, collagen powder, if it's a protein and then you put it in really hot coffee, is going to make it less effective. I just want you to know that because collagen proteins do not like heat. Peptides don't like heat. So just something that you should be aware of. That's why a lot of times the peptides that you take from a store, or the protein, if it was manufactured through heat or through pressure, it's highly denatured. So most people are taking shit collagen that isn't doing anything for them. So that's one of the problems. So I would be careful. Collagen, the two collagens that matter most are like type 1 and type 2 collagen. Now there's also type 4 and 5, and those collagens are good, but type 1 and type 2 are very sensitive to heat. All right, good. All right, so good. Yeah, so I think it's important to understand that. All right, so let's get back to this though, because I want to keep going. So if you want a medicinal outcome, and I had a question about the difference between, I like hydrolysate or hydrolysate. The reason I like these is because then they're broken down, they're hydrolyzed, and then they're put into large amounts as a single peptide, right? So that you can get the medicinal benefit. Why is collagen sensitive to heat? I should put it in a shake then, not coffee. Yeah, well, because peptides are sensitive to heat. Peptides are very unstable technically. And certain ones are more stable than others, right? And so most peptides are sensitive to heat, because then they break down into other amino acids or they denature. That's why it's relatively hard to get, like type 2 collagen. Type 2 collagen is really, really good for calming the immune system. But it is so sensitive, it is hard to get pure type 2 collagen. It's really good for bone too. So what happens when they take let me give you an example. Most bone supplements are complete bullshit. So because the way that things are extracted from bone is they are pulverized, they are rolled, steam rolled, or they are heated. Products that say they're heat resistant, I don't believe that, because most of the data on type 2 collagen is that, for bone, you can look at bone research and bone manufacturing standards, and a lot of the companies that heat their products get very little type 2 collagen out of them. So it's just part of it. So it's to understand that. So I know that that's not necessarily true. Now you can fortify with some certain ingredients and maybe make it more heat resistant. I don't want to say that's not potentially there, but I stay away from heat when it comes to my peptides, period, because of that, for the most part. Now, let's come back to this, okay? So we know that bone broth is generally anti-inflammatory, but if you want to get a really strong medicinal outcome, you would have to take a lot of protein. But the problem with protein is you don't absorb most of it. It may not digest very well, and you might not get a breakdown of the peptides. And when I talk about bone, I want you to stay close to beef bone or chicken, okay? The marine versions, marine lipids isn't bad, but I would like you to stick to bone because of the marrow. So this is where, well, how do you test people to find out what peptides? Well, there's peptides for everything, divide movements. There's peptides for everything, right? So it depends. What do they need is more the question based on symptomatology, right? And then you find the peptide. All right, next time I'm in Austin. I like to go to Austin a lot. Well, you'll see me in Austin again. I'll put a message out there. We'll probably meet up with some of my clients or followers. All right, coming back. So we want to go ahead and isolate certain peptides because that's where the research comes in, okay? So the question that someone had, what's the difference between Fortigel or Fortibone and Tendo Forte? Fortibone or Fortigel is an anti-inflammatory that's really good for hair, skin, nails, and ligaments. Tendon Forte focuses really closely on tendons, ligaments, things like that. So for example, this is on tendons and ligaments. So this is specifically studying the result of one peptide, right? So specific collagen peptides benefit the biosynthesis of matrix molecules of tendons and ligaments. The data showed it was pretty good. This is pretty awesome here. So remember, type 1 and 2 collagen are some of the best. Type 3 is good. It's not that great. But type 1's good. So the RNA expression and biosynthesis of type 1 and type 3 statistically significantly increased 1.2 to 2.4 fold in comparison to the control. This was a randomized control trial. So they gave certain participants the peptides and other participants none as they tested these 50 people. And so what it noticed is that it was an increase in both the Achilles tendons and ligaments of the fibroblasts in the ligaments. So this is good. This is kind of data that lets me know, oh, okay. This, by the way, they took it for 8 weeks, okay? My MIL is dealing with ulcerative colitis. Did you say bone broth? I make my own at home. Is it helpful for this? Yes, Paige. Very helpful for it. But I want you to know you got to make sure that you really cook that bone and then you let it sit for at least 8 hours. If you let it sit for 2, all of it doesn't really leach out of there. Because what they're seeing in UC is they're seeing that amino acids, some of the nutrients, and some of the collagen all medicinally play a part in being beneficial for UC. So this was really good. So this is for tendon and ligaments specific to the peptide. The peptide is called Tendo Forte. And now the research was done at 5 milligrams or grams. You would have to cook probably 30 pounds of bones to get 5 grams of Tendo Forte peptide out of bone broth. Do you see the problem? It's a volume problem. You just couldn't do it. Okay? Same thing here. Next one. Bone development. So this, go ahead and look at this head on, producer Malachi. This is the bioactive collagen peptides in osteopenia and osteoporosis. This was a long-term observation in postmenopausal women. I really, really like this one because it's a long-term observation. So they checked it out over a significant period of time. I think it was about 5 years. Supplementation with bioactive collagen peptides during follow-up led to clinically relevant increases in BMD in the spine, build up the bone density. These findings were consistent with the results for the femoral neck. So they were looking at people with having different issues, postmenopausal females, over very long periods of time, using collagen peptides, particularly these one. Yes, it was a long time. That's why I like this one. So now, granted, is this going to give you overnight results, kitty cat? Like, can you do a bone density scan and take this and see a difference in 8 weeks? No. This is something that you'll want to take long term because bone is tricky. You also want to take, I like Bone Builder from Metagenics. I'm a really big fan of that product. And you want to make sure that you get your hormones balanced. If you take bioidentical replacement hormones as a postmenopausal female, you're way more likely to keep bone density, along with what? Eating healthy. And what is the number one thing for bone? Lifting weights. I know all my people love hearing that. Lifting weights is still the number one thing. Here's the fun one. Who wants to tighten their skin? Who wants to tighten their skin? I know I'm always being very aware of that. And so once again, you've heard about collagen for skin tightening. The problem is that you couldn't take enough bone broth and you couldn't eat enough collagen protein to get the peptides that actually do that, right? All right, so Sammy Lee, I'll tell you what, Sammy Lee in the chat, we're gonna go ahead and give you one of our free new youth. I'm gonna give you one of our new youth. Message Waleed in the chat, I'm gonna hook you up. See, I'm just dropping this. Yes, go back up real quick, producer Malachi. Obar muscle, exactly. Tendo Forte sounds like it's good for pre and post surgeries. It is. I like to double up though when you're. A lot of this data is over like 12 weeks, 6 months. So I like to double up my dose and I like to compare it. But so I do 2 scoops a day post surgery, right? Right. Okay. So Verisol. You guys can look up Verisol. So I don't trust collagen protein research, but when you can isolate the peptide and test it over 12 weeks, particularly on skin, I like that. Okay? That gives me something I can use specifically as a tool. Right? So Verisol. Let's take a look here. Oral intake of specific bioactives, collagen peptides, reduces skin wrinkles and increases dermal matrix synthesis. So let's hit it from the front here. Okay. So this was the results. So what they did was they were looking at eye wrinkle volume, right, in females, and then they also were looking at the actual content in their blood of protocollagen type 1 and elastin. Okay, so they were elastin is the material in your skin that makes it elastic, right? It makes it tight, makes it stretchy. Okay, collagen type 1 is really good for building up collagen tissue. Okay, so what they found is there was statistically significant reductions in eye wrinkle volume and compared to placebo. So this was also a randomized control trial, which I liked. That went went 8 weeks, but they kept observing another 4 weeks past, so it was like 12 weeks. Now, once again, I recognize this was a smaller sample size. It was done on like 30 women, so it's not huge, right? And also, it's only like an 8-week or a 12-week trial. But nonetheless, again, very specific and randomized control. So I do like that, right? Additionally, after 8 weeks of intake, a statistically significant higher content of collagen type 1, a 65% increase in type 1, and an 18% increase in elastin in the peptide treated volunteers compared to placebo. So, I mean, that is pretty fantastic. It said, like I said, a statistically significant reduction in eye wrinkle volume from a peptide. So that's pretty good. Again, that peptide is Verisol. And this was the dose. This was 2.5 grams was administered. And so for me, that's why you can do what you want. You can go and find each one of these ingredients by themselves. All right. But because I wanted all these features, I put all of these peptides together at the medicinal dose relevant to the research, and I put in a product called New Youth. Okay. New Youth, you can go to practitioner.com. This is New Youth. It has all that in there, plus all of your essential amino acids. It's a pretty badass product. There's like 30 servings per. What brand Verisol? Well, I would just get it Verisol in New Youth, Melissa. So check that out. I'm going to hook up, who is the winner? Jill Gibbs. You are the winner of one New Ethics product from New Youth from New Ethics Formulations. Check this out. If you guys want this product, it's called New Youth, right? It's awesome. Oh, look. Hey, what's up, a little slice of brie? New Youth is awesome. Healed my knee crazy fast. Awesome. My coach just suggested I started this today. People do not buy this product enough. It doesn't make me almost any money. I just love it. It costs me a lot to make, but it's the best product ever. So I just keep, now it's a long-term product, okay? I want you to understand, I would take a scoop of this for at least half a year, but it lasts you a pretty long time, and the results build up. It's pretty awesome. So thank you for that question. So now you guys know. Make sure, I want to give you some notes. Bone broth is a medicinal tool, but will not give you the medicinal benefits of collagen in bone broth. If you drink it over years, yes. But bone broth still has medicinal benefits, so drink it. Okay? That being said, be careful of collagen protein. I don't know what the source is. Ancient Nutrition's pretty decent, I guess. I stay weary of collagen protein. Most of it's cheaply made, so throw it in the garbage. It's not really going to support you. What I do is I skip protein, and I make sure that the isolated peptides, also important to note. All right, go back to the front of this. When you're looking at products, do you guys see here the little @ symbol or R symbol? The R symbol right here represents registered trademark. And so you want a trademarked version because it's the one that's tested. Okay? So be careful when you see things on packaging that's like, ooh, it's collagen peptides, but it doesn't have a trademark to it. I get nervous about untrademarked peptides because that means someone's just breaking it out and saying that's what it is. This is paired up against a patent, so it has to be what it is from the manufacturer, from the raw materials manufacturer. So you want to try to get trademarked ones in order to ensure a greater level of quality that may not be found in others. That's why for New Youth, we have all the trademark versions. You guys can check that out. And it's in our New Youth product. Okay. Can you explain how ingredients in Cordy's work for the 2 to 3 day cortisol reset? Oh boy. What about grass-fed bovine gelatin? How is this different from all of this? Interesting. Bovine gelatin is still very, very good for you, but gelatin does not contain, it has anti-inflammatory effects, but you're not going to get a lot of extracted type 2 collagen. Okay. And then again, any of the gelatin that may have some proteins in them, you're not getting a volume that's very medicinal. It doesn't mean it's not good for you. Grass-fed bovine gelatin still has medicinal amounts of type 2, type 1 collagen. Still has medicinal amounts of amino acids, right? And minerals. So it's a good ingredient to have in your diet, but you're not going to get these crazy, insane results in specific areas. Collagen waters, yeah, divine movements. I would not get into collagen waters. I think you're barking up the wrong tree there. And be very wary of collagen protein. It's why I don't have a collagen protein. I do not trust sources producing collagen protein. The reason I know that is from bone and other protein manufacturers. I know how hard it is to find someone who gives you a high quality, normal whey protein, let alone a collagen protein that is highly heat and pressure sensitive. We know that from bone. When they break down bone, there's almost no type 2 collagen left in it, which is where a lot of the medicinal benefit comes from. So I like to isolate the peptide. I like to have a trademarked company source because they have to have testing and assaying against their product and their patent. So that makes me trust it, and then that's what I use. And so for me, I wanted to create one that I wanted. That's why I make almost all products. It's something that I want. Producer Malachi, go back. And so I put all of them together in one. All of them are in New Youth. Go check it out. It's flavorless. You can put it in anything that you want. I put it in my morning smoothie. Check out New Youth, y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, moving on. How to deal with testosterone, starting testosterone, and water retention. KR Howley. Very good question. I love this question. This is why our doctors at Vital Med, they know better to stair step you up slowly. Because anytime that you increase hormones in your body, it's going to pull water. Doesn't matter if it's progesterone, testosterone, or estrogen. Now, because hormones, when pulled in, right, increase your hydrated state. So as you go lower hormones, you get dried out. The less hormone that you have, the more dried out your body is. Well, that's not necessarily good for you. All right. So when hormones increase, aldosterone, right, which is the water kind of sparing or potassium sparing agent that then keeps water, controls water, how much is excreted from the kidneys. So if I'm going to hold water, aldosterone will go up for a little bit. So whenever my body gets more hormone, water will first hang on in the system, but it won't go in the muscle right away. So whenever you increase your hydration status, any woman on here, you have to understand, listen to me on this. And any coach, this is what you have to tell your clients about how your body actually becomes more hydrated. When your body is dehydrated intracellularly in the muscle, okay, and you add anything that's going to hydrate you, let's say it's water or whatever, what's typically going to happen is that water is going to go on the outside of you, so extracellularly. So as you raise your water level inside of your body, okay, that water, especially from hormones, is going to go on extracellularly. It's going to go on top of your body. And then that water over time will then go into the muscle intracellularly. That's if you want to keep good electrolyte status, keep your hydration levels up. But you can't, especially with hormones, there's still going to be a 6 or 8 week. Estrogen, progesterone can go on for 10 to 12 weeks. Testosterone is usually only 4 to 6 weeks. Where water, again, goes on the surface and then makes its way into your muscles. All right. So you kind of have to wait a minute. Whenever you add hormones, you're going to be have a little more water retention. Now, for me, for example, right, and any woman that I work with, we like to stair step hormones. So we like to give you just a little bit of hormone over a couple days to stretch that out. So if you were to take testosterone as a female and you took 15 milligrams and you did it at one time, you're going to have more aldosterone. You're going to have more water retention that's going to have to take time to then go into your body. But if you were to take that same 12 or 15 milligrams and let's say break it apart and deliver it over a couple of days, right, 3 days apart, you're going to have way less water retention, right? And you want to let your body get used to hormones. So if anybody's taking bioidentical replacement hormones, don't start at a large dose. Start at a very small dose and work your way up if you're worried about water retention, right? And your body will get used to it. You'll have less water retention with it, making sure that you keep adequate amounts of magnesium, potassium, like electrolytes, sodium, adequate water intake in anywhere from 90 to 120 or 140 ounces, and that's going to help with retention. Now, if you're someone that's freaking out about water retention, and you get hormones from, let's say, Vital Med, like my clinic, the doctors will give you about 2 weeks worth of a thiazide, which is a water pill, just a small amount, just to take off a little bit of the water if you're freaking out about it. But you really want that water to go into your cells, right? So is it good to take testosterone as an injectable or a cream? So hormones absorb differently through the skin. It's called transdermal absorption for especially women, but also men, but especially women at different ages of their maturity. So testosterone or any transdermal cream is going to absorb differently for different people. Different types of skin transdermally absorb better or worse. That's why creams are a no-go for me if you can avoid them. There are certain times when you might do natural yam cream to just add a little bit of estrogen or something like that, like an essential oil that you can put on your skin. That might be, but otherwise never take a hormone through cream. The best way to do it is either injectable or troche, depending on what you're doing, or capsule. If it's okay to have first pass through the liver, like a progesterone, for example. But for testosterone and estrogen, I am all about injectable. Sub-Q injection. If your doctor's telling you that you have to take your hormones intramuscularly, oh, thank you. Den Parton says, Phytomed is the best. Thank you, Dina, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and hook Dina up. Let's go ahead and send Dina our multivitamin from New Ethics Formulations. Dina, we're going to send you a new multi. Yeah, new multi has it has 10 servings of fruits and vegetables and ORAC value in our phytonutrient complex, and it's a multivitamin all in one. So check that out. Thank you, Dina. I appreciate you. All right. So with testosterone, let's say your doctor wants you on, let's say it's a male, right? Say it's a male. Let's say they want you on 150 milligrams. Well, if you're worried about water retention, don't start at 150 milligrams. Start at something like 50 milligrams or 75 milligrams. Split that out. Like I do, like, I don't take very much. I maybe take 100 milligrams a week. So I split my dose out twice. I do 50 milligrams twice a week. And I don't really get any water retention from it. But if I were to take 200 mgs or something like that, or 150 mgs, or all 100 mgs at one time, my aldosterone's going to go up. The water's going to show up on my surface. I'm going to look bloated. And then about 48 hours later, it will recede into my body, into my muscles, and that water will go away. Hydration status is a good thing, and hormones help you do that. So we don't want to be anti-hydration status. That's why when you add hormones to the body, you're going to have more water inside of your cells. Therefore, you're going to weigh more. So anybody that ever tells you that bioidentical hormones help you lose weight, they're full of shit. Now, after 6 months, or so, it helps your anabolic behavior. It can help you burn fat, build muscle, all that shit. But in terms of a weight loss, hormones do not do that. I'm 33, been on testosterone, progesterone, and thyroid. Go up, producer Malachi. Malachi, there you go. For 4 months now, and do improvements. Do you think don't need them? Is this long enough? Thyroid for 4 months now and no improvements. Well, it depends what your problem is. Dumbbells and doorbells. If you're inflamed and tired and you've been on those hormones and you don't feel better, it probably means that adding hormones on top of inflammation isn't the answer. This is the problem, right? So 4 months is a good enough time. But what your doctor's going to do when you go back in is they're going to go, oh, you need more hormone. But that's not the truth. If you don't feel good on that, it means that there must be a layer of cellular inflammation underneath that's making you feel the way that you are and is throwing off your hormones. That's why if you go watch my free training on my link tree on OID, suffering from solutions, it's something that we call hormone insensitivity, and it happens when a body has too much inflammation and ROS in it. You can't add hormones on top of inflammation to solve inflammation. All you get is a watery mess. Yes, inflamed, tired, and high cortisol. So I don't know, if you give our company a try, we'll get rid of the inflammation first, and then you put the hormones in and it'll feel incredible, right? In fact, we offer a 12-week guarantee. You come to my program, you don't feel better what you were looking for in 12 weeks, we'll work with you for free till we do, okay? The problem is you're putting the cart before the horse. A lot of people don't feel good, and they look at a hormone test, and their hormones are low, so they go, oh, that must be why I don't feel good. But oftentimes, inflammation has built inside the cell that has then lowered your hormones. So by adding hormones, you got rid of the secondary problem, but not the primary problem. So people are doing this all of the time, and that's the problem. Hormones don't get rid of inflammation. I need to be clear about that. They can prevent future inflammation, but and they can reduce symptoms related to inflammation, but they're not really anti-inflammatory. Progesterone a little bit, testosterone, they're antioxidative. So like they were, like good amount of testosterone, some progesterone can be reduce oxidative stress to a certain degree. But they're not anti-inflammatory. It's not like testosterone is like a ginger or something like that. I think it's cool. So go back up, Producer Malachi. I want to answer a couple more questions. I am well known at dropping free product and free gifts in the chat for people that ask great questions. Why does Mounjaro cause water retention and weight gain after going off of it? I have a client that has this issue. Is inflammation the root cause? Well, Janelle, here's the problem. Is that Mounjaro, if we didn't get rid of the underlying issue, then all you did was cause weight loss by eating less. And so when you come off of it, the inflammation is just going to come back. This is why when we use a semaglutide or we use a Mounjaro, we're doing it only in our OID program because we're making sure to the best of our ability that we've gotten rid of the underlying cause of inflammation, which sometimes you have to use those agents to do so. And that's why it's very, very important that if you don't get the body into autophagy, so if you take semaglutide and your ketones don't go up and autophagy doesn't occur and you get rid of all those bad cells inside of your body that are the root cause, then when you come off of semaglutide or Mounjaro, you're just going to blow up. And then that's the problem. So that's part of what happens. I can't regulate my body temperature. I'm always freezing. What could be the cause of that? Well, a couple things. So one, we need to look at your blood flow. Like we need to look at your blood pressure. We need to I would look at blood proteins. I would be looking at, again, another thing is blood flow, right? So am I staying active enough? Some people just have lower blood pressure. And so at lower body fats, or not even lower body fats, but your body, like your hormone status. So that when you have lower hormones, you can be colder more often because it throws off your thermal neutral zone. So if your hormones are way off or too low, that can have an impact. Thyroid being a little low. So if you're really tired and stressed, your thyroid or hormones are getting a little low, that's going to make you more cold and, reduce your blood pressure. Maybe your blood pressure is a little low. All right, my sister's having all sorts of issues with weight gain, brain fog, exhausted, hair loss, libido long gone. And of course, blood work has all been fine. I don't know where she can start. Her doctor told her, Shanna Pope, what's going on? Well, Shanna, I tell you what, I might know a guy. Send a message to Waleed. We can solve this. In fact, we provide a 12-week guarantee on it, right? So I would send her, if you want to start, you can start with our doctors. Yeah, you've got it right. Wonder if her cells are inflamed. That's it, right? Now, you can send her to Vital Med and just have her speak to one of our clinicians if you want, for free. You can send it through to us and we'll get you through. But more than likely, she has cellular inflammation you need to get rid of. So we got to get rid of the inflammation in the cells, get rid of some bad cells, and then all that stuff goes away. So we offer, our OID program is 12 weeks guaranteed, so you can check it out. Yeah, then Shanna, if she's stubborn, just start with our NP. Send her to Vital Med. Send her to Vital Med and get her started in the journey at least. If she's stubborn, you can try that. All right, go up, Producer Malachi. We had a few other questions. Go up. Here we go. Is it okay? So Cochran asks, is it correct to take estrogen, progesterone simultaneously as you're correcting undetectable testosterone in a female, or is it best to correct one area at a time? Okay. So you're trying to give this person progesterone to try to raise her testosterone levels. That may not always work, and some females it might. If you're going to give estrogen, you have to give progesterone because it reduces significantly the risk of cancer. Now, I don't always give high dose. Progesterone, though, I'm going to tell you, it causes you not to absorb your glucose very well. So it is almost glucose desensitizing. That's why progesterone creates weight gain. Progesterone is supposed to do that because your body will release like blood sugar to try to get your sugars higher to make more progesterone. So at periods that you're making more progesterone, you're almost less insulin sensitive. So, you know, the research shows that progesterone is really good for reducing anxiety and all these different things, and that's true, but it's not good for fat loss, weight loss, or keep maintaining your weight. So I'm very sparse with my progesterone use. I don't like shutting off natural production. So I only give about 50 milligrams, or my team typically only gives about 50 milligrams. If it's anxiety or just some severe issues going on, maybe you'll get to 200, but 200 milligrams of progesterone is way too much for anybody. I'm gonna tell you that right now. 100 max. And then injectable estrogen should be done we only do about 3 milligrams, 2 to 3 milligrams of injectable estrogen, which is estradiol. And we do it with about 50 milligrams of progesterone. But once again, that doesn't mean that they're going to convert that progesterone into testosterone. That's the problem, right? So you might be better off, I don't know the age of this individual, but you might be better off just giving some injectable testosterone and some progesterone and letting it convert into estrogen. That would be my argument. Can it be a good idea? I am on 100. Maybe you should go down to 50. Well, we put you on 100. We dropped you to 100 already. 100's not bad, and you're pretty lean. I wouldn't go any lower. Not everybody works to progesterone that well. Everybody's got a little bit of bio-individuality, but my doctor has me taking 200 per day. Is that whack? Kara, you tell me. Are you kind of bloated and swollen and, you know, all the things? Because, yeah, that's too much. I would drop it down to 100, and I think you'll like where you land much, much better. That's why you need to work with my team, VitalMed, vitalmed.com. What about having to be on a high dose of progesterone during the first trimester while pregnant? That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing to do because you're focusing on pregnancy, right? If you were to gain a little bit of weight, you can't in the first trimester hurt yourself with more progesterone. So that's the way to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Great idea. Cochran, I hope that's how you say your last name. I have no idea. I made a product for this, by the way. If you're going to give progesterone, check out my product, Jumpstart EC. In fact, you know what? Waleed, let's hook her up. Jumpstart EC. I want you to check that product out because I've made a product that helps you convert your progesterone into testosterone. It's got multiple levels of support to help balance out progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. Jumpstart can be given with other hormones to make sure that they go where they're supposed to. I want you to think of hormones like Plinko. You really can't control where they go. So like if I give someone progesterone, you could burn it up. It could go into cortisol. It can go into testosterone. It can go into estrogen because it converts down the line. It can go into androgens. You don't really know where their hormones are going to go. Same thing with birth control, by the way. So if you give like a progesterone, like if you do like an IUD insert, like you do, which is levonorgestrel. Levonorgestrel is the progestin that is in Mirena, Skyla, Kylena. Did you know that in people it metabolizes differently? So in some people, levonorgestrel makes them estrogen dominant. In some people, it makes them androgen dominant. And in some people, it makes them progesterone dominant. Isn't that wild? That's why checking hormones on birth control is super important, particularly when you're using progesterone only. Because you don't know where it's going to go. So one of the things that I like, if you're going to give progesterone or you're going to give testosterone, or even if you just want to naturally try to balance out all the hormones, I made a product for that called Jumpstart. Especially if people are trying to gain muscle or lose weight, it helps protect their hormones from plummeting too quickly. Obar says, can a female with OID feed up while on Ozempic and still lose body fat? Omar, a little bit if you do it right, if you do your fast feasting schedules right. Yeah, probably. I will tell you with Ozempic, I like Ozempic. You can build slowly. Raise calories very, very slowly, and you can build clean with Ozempic. You won't build fast because semaglutide is going to hurt protein synthesis a little bit. But you build clean. And that's why people don't even realize semaglutide is better for feeding up, in my opinion. Jumpstart is the bomb. I gave my client this, and she got her period back within a month. Ah, thank you. That's awesome. Shout out. Tiffany, thank you so much. Shilajit. I've seen it. I don't use it a lot. It's an herb, and it's a Chinese herb, and I've heard good things. I haven't seen any clinical evidence for it, like in my practice, and I haven't seen any data on it. That's the only thing. I think it can be good for. I've seen it was good for perimenopause. I've got a whole new product coming out for perimenopause. We're gonna launch it in I think about a month, so you guys will see that. What is OID? Oh, good question. So OID stands for overactive immune disorder or immune-mediated inflammatory disease. Okay, which is so people that if practicing fasting are senolytics necessary? No, they are not necessary. And again, I have not come out with a heavy senolytic just yet, but very, very soon I'll be making an announcement on a fasting product that I have partnered with a company to help make. And I'm really excited about it. So I will have an announcement for you guys here soon. Senolytics, I do like it. I'm looking at the data. I'm paying attention, but I don't jump, Karen. So I don't see the new hot toy in town and you go, ooh, let's make it because people want to buy it. I usually take my time and I make sure that I see that it works in my office and then see that it works in the research, and then I'll make a product. Because I don't trust research by itself. I don't trust just certain outcomes by itself. I wait and I watch over time, and that's how I end up with answers that actually work. You know what I mean? So that's why we do that. Let's go ahead. We're going to drop into one more question. You guys have been friggin' awesome. It's been a great crew here tonight. This is a super cool question if people don't realize it. Can the size of lipoproteins change? Supplements for energy. Just her way. Supplements for energy. All hormone levels and vitamins came back normal. I don't drink caffeine. Well, I'll tell you what, then you want to use herbs, right? And I don't know what all hormone levels can. What vitamins did you check? Did you do, if you really want to know, you got to do an intracellular mineral test. A little slice of Paris love Vital Med, just started with their HRT, and on the protocol you mentioned, and with taking testosterone and progesterone concerns, my glucose is in the 90s, will make it more sensitive. I'm concerned is my glucose is in the 90s. Will it make it more sensitive? So I think you mean your fasting glucose, which doesn't have as much to do with your progesterone and testosterone levels. That has to do with your cortisol, stress, how much you slept, how much you're eating. So I think you're going to be fine. I wouldn't worry too much about that at all. And the amounts that we start you on, I know better, a little slice of brie, are going to help aesthetically and help with your energy levels, but they're not going to cause your glucose levels to rise. No. I designed a lot of those protocols. I should know. Don't you worry. Go back up though for me real quick. I think there was a great question that came up. Okay, so here. So just her way. So says supplements for energy, please. All hormone levels came back normal and vitamin levels came back normal. First, I don't know what tests you did on hormones, and I don't know what tests you did on vitamins. Very unlikely that you actually did a good vitamin test. The only good vitamin test that is out there, in my opinion, is an intracellular mineral test. A couple companies have them. We use one from SpectraCell. I think did we get the new intracellular mineral test in on the website, Practitioner Depot? The new one? Yeah. Intracellular mineral test, just her way. If you really want to know, split open a white blood cell and they look at the vitamins and minerals and insulin sensitivity of that cell. That tells you a lot more about your vitamin status than some bullshit blood test, because looking at B vitamins, that might not be enough. But yes, Karen knocked it out for me. Lion's mane, rhodiola, ashwagandha are some great ones. Rotate those. Definitely recommend methyl B vitamins. 60% of women have one of the, the MTHFR gene variant to a certain degree. Yeah, SpectraCell micronutrients, the one that's up there. So you guys can check it out, SpectraCell micronutrient test, if you really want to know intracellular nutrients. But I would start there. I'm a big fan of lion's mane, alpha GPC. These are things that aren't as much for energy as they are also for dopamine. So dopamine helps with focus and attention. So maybe that's what you mean rather than energy. right? I'm feeling in focus. I'm not feeling motivated. That's probably more of a dopamine thing than it is like a energy production thing like ATP. Most people don't realize that they're talking a difference there. So those are the things I would do for that. All right, I want to close this out. So can the size of lipoproteins change, or is it hereditary? Megan, great question. So the size of your lipoproteins. So if anybody doesn't know this, cholesterol is fat, essentially a fat. That there's Watson, by the way. He wants everyone to know he wants food. All right, but cholesterol, your liver makes it, and then you also extract it from food. But the way that it transports in and around in your body is something called a lipoprotein. It is a protein that carries the cholesterol all around the body. The size of your lipoprotein will dictate a lot about your health long term. So the smaller the lipoprotein, the more dense and small that it is, the more danger you have of like stroke, heart disease, other, cardiometabolic risk factors. And so the size of your lipoproteins is kind of dictated, right, by your genes. But I'm here to tell you, I've got good news. There are certain things like your LP little a. LP little a is a type of protein that is genetic. It's more hereditary. But the size, while does have a genetic component, can be changed. So here's a study that was on using polyunsaturated fatty acids, right? So looking at like fish oils, for example, or other polyunsaturated fatty acids, coconut oil and other things like that, avocado oil. Improve lipoprotein particle size. It made it larger, right? In Japanese patients with type 2 diabetes and hyperlipidemia or triglyceridemia. Say that word 17 times fast. Hypertriglyceridemia. Whoa. And so you absolutely can change the size of your lipoproteins. Now, they will always have a genetic affinity, okay? But you, over time, with your diet, eating healthy fats, things like fish oil, Mediterranean-based dieting is usually best. You can change the size of your lipoproteins over time and reduce your risk factors for a stroke, heart attack, CVD, diabetes, hypertriglyceridemia through diet and through things like SCRMs. I really, really, really like a SCRM called Caprex. And then there's also another SCRM that we have, selective kinase response modulator. It's in a product called Incinase. These SCRMs are really, really good for changing your low density lipoproteins in a higher density or into low density, not high density, you want low density, high density lipoproteins, which is your healthier ones. But again, your lipoprotein size, like the particle that carries around the lipoprotein, right? The particle is what she's talking about, your particle number, not so much your lipoprotein, like HDL versus LDL, right? That's a lipoprotein. You can change that through your diet. The particle size that carries around the lipoprotein, which is what I think she was getting at here, if you go back to this. The lipoproteins, you can change. High density lipoproteins, low density lipoproteins, but the particle that carries it around can be large or small, if that makes sense. And that is more genetically related, but you can change it through diet, lifestyle means, but it still will have a hereditary overtone. All right, everybody, listen, share this live and tag me, and you will be entered to win a free Hybrid Health Summit replay. The information is in there, is worth $50,000. We're giving it away for $200. However, we're giving one away for free. So be sure to share this story. I'm going to post it now and tag me in it. Thank you everybody for making Metabolic Monday bigger than I ever thought. The number of reshares and replays and questions that I get has just been unprecedented. It's phenomenal. I'm so grateful. Thank you all. Have a great rest of the week. Peace.